Good morning, everyone. Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. And yes, I am walking. I am so excited. For those of you who don't know, I fell and I basically broke my foot about 8 weeks ago, had to have surgery, and I have been off non-weight bearing for 6 weeks. I had my doctor's appointment last Thursday and I got the all clear for being able to put weight on it, which I am so thankful for. So I've already been out in my garden a little bit and it is just like, I feel like I can breathe. I feel like my soul is fixed now because I can actually get outside and it just feels so very good. So I do still have to wear my boot. I think I have to wear it until the first week of January, and then they're already scheduling my second surgery. So I got a screw put in my foot. Sorry for being graphic. I got a screw put in my foot and now the screw has to be removed. And so I do have a second surgery. Probably, it's not scheduled yet, but it's probably the last week of January or the first week of February, which thank goodness it's before gardening season. But I don't have any weight bearing restrictions after that. I just have to go back in the boot for a little while. So you all will probably see me in the boot for a very long time. I've already been working, like I said, in the garden a little bit with the boot on, and it's been totally fine. I mean, it's been a little annoying, but I will take it. I will absolutely deal with it. And the funny thing is, I actually got a boot cover that I can put on my boot to keep my boot clean because I have to wear it inside as well. And I was like tracking dirt everywhere. And so now I have this cover that I can put on, keep my boot clean, or let the cover get dirty when it's outside, keep my boot clean, and then when I come inside, I can just take off the cover. So you all will probably see that quite a bit over the next couple weeks. So anyway, this morning, I wanted to get started and give you all a December garden tour. Now, I have not been out here. I have not been out here doing barely anything, but I do have two gentlemen working for me. Their names are Milo and Isaac, and they are so fantastic. And they've been here. They've been trying to get a whole bunch of hours, work hours. And so they've been doing a lot of work for me. So I figured I can show you all everything that they are doing. Monty is currently taking a nap right now, so he is not going to be in this video. Unfortunately, I tried to time this for when he'd be up, but he's a tired boy. So I don't have my cover on yet. Let me go get my boot cover on and then we will start walking around. So while I'm up here, let me just start off at my front porch. I redid my front porch, I don't know, like a week or two ago with Jason's help, of course. It is very simple, but I love it so much. I think it is so very pretty. And, I really do like it when, holiday is all over the place and it's super decorated, but we just couldn't do that this year with the boot. There's my boot cover, just in case you guys wanted to see it. Look, there's already mud coming off of it. That's how much I'm tracking mud around everywhere. So anyway, so here is my front porch. The lighting kind of is bad right now, but first off, I have these pots. And when I was at Van Winden's filming a video with Eileen and Sam, I saw these little ollie topiaries. These are sterile olives from Monrovia. They're called little ollies and they're the coolest things. They're really good for topiaries, and they had a whole bunch of them. Van Winden's in Napa has the best topiaries. In case any of you are in the area and looking for topiaries, they're just so beautiful. So I grabbed 2 of those, which was quite the splurge, but I figure everything else is so incredibly simple. I could splurge on these, and I already have a place that I'm planning to put them. They are full sun, and the amount of light that you see right here on them is pretty much the most that they're going to get the rest of the day. So I definitely can't leave these here for long term. Underneath, I put one of my favorite cool season flowers, and that is cyclamen. I actually got these cyclamen at Costco. That is the best place to get them. They're such a good deal. And then added in some dichondra silver falls. So my plan is I'm going to leave the dichondra in these pots. I'm going to take out the cyclamen and replant them in my shade garden because those are perennials for me here. And then I'm going to leave the little ollies in there as well. And so these are just 2 pots that I can just have all the time, have these topiaries in, and they're going to be perfectly happy. So really happy about those. And I'm proud of myself for being like responsible with planting, because it's not just a holiday planting. It's a planting that is going to take me through a couple years. And then I have this beautiful wreath here that Kate owns an Etsy shop, a wreath shop called Maddie and Elle, and she has the most beautiful wreaths. And so this one is her white and gold holiday wreath. And the reason why I like this one is because it has the magnolia leaves on it, and indoors I did a lot of decorating with magnolia leaves, and I just think it is so very pretty. So I will make sure to link her Etsy shop in the description down below, and I also have a discount code that is good until 12/24 Christmas Eve, so I will put that in the description down below as well. So yeah, so not the most ornate holiday front porch decorating, but I really like it. I'm really happy with it. It's nice and it's clean and it's simple. And yeah, I'm super happy with it. And I'm proud that I was even able to decorate anything with my foot. All right, let's head over here now. The sun is in quite the spot. This is my Star Jasmine Espalier, and it is doing beautifully. It is growing so well. I'm so happy with it. It's obviously happy in this spot. This is, what is this? East facing, I would say. So it gets really great morning sun, and then it gets afternoon shade. So I think it's a really good spot for the Star Jasmine. I'm glad that I chose the Star Jasmine for my espalier. But on the same note, my roses, there was roses here before that we dug out, and we tried to dig out as much of the roots as possible. Obviously we didn't get all of them out, so I have to come out and fix that. And then I do, looks like I have wild onion. I think this is wild onion. I'm pretty sure that's wild onion. So I just have weeds everywhere. I just have, this property just has not been touched for years and years and years. So this is just something that I'm going to have to deal with, and that is okay. We'll get there. Once I'm able to get a bunch of mulch out here, I think it's going to be so much better. But until then, it's just something that we're going to have to stay on top of. The other thing I want to say is everything's a mess right now. Everything, I mean, like, I have pots everywhere. I have plants everywhere. You can see I have a dead rosemary. I honestly don't know why this one survived and this one died, but oh well. I have so many things everywhere, and it was just kind of like emergency, just try and keep everything alive. So I'm excited to get out here and slowly start working through my garden and start cleaning it now that I can walk and kind of just get out here and get my eyes on the garden. So I'm excited about that. I want to take you all over to the shade garden bed, but let's start off first over here at the Zig Zag Planter, because this is the last time you're going to see the Zig Zag Planter like this, because I'm hoping later today I can plant my daffodils in this planter. So in my last garden, I had the big front swoop, and I would put annuals in during the warm season, and then the cool season I would put a whole bunch of daffodils in, and I loved it. And I'm going to continue with that in this Zig Zag Planter. I love the purple fountain grass in this planter. It is just, it's the perfect thing to have in the Zig Zag Planter. I can't believe how good it looks. I will look out the window and I will see the purple fountain grass kind of blowing in the wind, and it is just, I mean, you just can't beat it. It is the best thing that I could have planted in this planter. So I have to kind of think what my plans are going to be for next season when I put my summer annuals in, what I'm actually going to do. But I definitely want to do something like the purple fountain grass. Maybe not purple. Okay. So this is Dichondra Silver Falls, and the wind blows it back up, and then it starts rooting in, and so then it doesn't get the droopy look if I don't stay on top of it. There. That's okay, right? I want it to look like that. That's what I'm going for. But it just kind of blows itself up all the time. And so I have to come out here and I have to pull it off like that, like pretty much every couple days. It's so funny. So today I'm going to be transplanting most of these plants. Most of these plants are good. I think I'm going to leave the heliotrope in. So we did have a couple frosts already so far this year. There's my heliotrope, and heliotrope is not, I mean, it's frost tender. And these have been doing okay, but I do have some heliotrope over there. I'll show you in a bit. And they're not doing great. I think they're still alive. But I'm thinking I'm going to leave the heliotrope in here just to try and protect it and try and overwinter it. I have a whole bunch of rudbeckia that I'm going to transplant. I'm going to leave the dichondra silver falls in here, and I'm going to transplant the purple fountain grass over here to my center island, where you can kind of see there's the dry creek bed all laid out. I want to plant the purple fountain grass kind of around the dry creek bed. Again, I'll show you that in a minute. But I'm so very happy with how the Zig Zag Planter turned out for fall planting. I don't think it could have been any better for my first planting, just to see how it does. Now, so we have drip irrigation. And I spent a lot of money totally replacing my whole drip irrigation. And I thought everything was fine and I didn't have to worry about anything else. And then we realized we didn't have enough water pressure. And that was so frustrating. And I think the reason why I realized it is because I have one zone that feeds the espalier, and then it comes up to the Zig Zag Planter and it feeds the Zig Zag Planter. And I noticed that the plants at the end of the Zig Zag Planter over here were having watering issues. Like, it was so much drier over here. And if you look at this purple fountain grass that only comes up to maybe like my chest, as compared to that purple fountain grass that came up to like my chin, if not even a little higher, you can tell this side is getting more water than this side, and that's because of the water pressure. So we were on a well, and we have a pump, and we had the pump guy come out to kind of take a look at it, and they found out that it's like a booster to, like, our well pump is fine, but there's a booster on it. And the people who lived here before got like the tiniest booster you could possibly get, I guess. I'm probably saying the wrong thing, but basically they weren't planning on doing any watering at all. So I have a feeling that's why they got the cheapest and tiniest and dinkiest booster there was. But the pump guy was even like, this isn't even good enough to give you guys full shower pressure. And it's like, oh my goodness. So they're coming to fix that. That's another unexpected expense. But again, that's kind of just one of those things that we knew was going to happen with this house, is that we were going to have a lot of unplanned expenses. So hopefully that will be done soon. Again, that's another reason why this propane tank is still sitting here, because this was an unplanned expense. And yeah, just pretend like you can't see that, okay? Okay, let's come over this way. So here I planted a couple of hardy hibiscus. I don't remember the varieties. I'm so out of it with the gardening stuff, just because I've been inside for so long. Okay, so this is All Eyes on Me, Summerific All Eyes on Me. I am going to leave them up like this, like sticks like this. I think it's until February. I want to say, I have it written in my gardening calendar, which I am going to do a video on my gardening calendar, how I plan out my year for gardening. So stay tuned for that. So that's going to kind of stay there. I do have a gardenia here. This is pillow top gardenia that I'm obsessed with. I love it. And then I have a variegated Chinese fringe flower. You can kind of see the frost. The frost is still on there in this area. But I wanted to show you all this whole area right here. So this area was covered with layers of, first of all, there was a layer of chicken feed bags, right, as like landscape fabric. Then there was a layer of red lava rock, and then there was a layer of redwood bark over that. And so I mean, you'll see how thick it is when I get over here. But so I had Milo and Isaac work on this and scoop it all up, and oh my goodness, it was a job. I kind of thought they would be able to get it done in a day, and it took them like 5 days to scoop all of this out. So way over there by the pump house over there, I just had them pile everything up, and I'm going to have to get like one of those big dumpsters that can put, you know, that can put rocks in at the same time as you put other stuff in. I'm gonna have to get that here so that we can get rid of all of it. But it's just, oh my goodness, this is just another mess that I'm just so shocked. See, these are the lava rocks. I'm just so shocked that the people who lived here before, or maybe the people who lived here before that, would do it the way they did, because it's basically just covering things up, right? Which is, I mean, that's kind of the theme of this whole garden, is everything was just covered up so that nobody would notice the issue that was underneath. So I have this apricot, I have this apricot tree right here, and you can kind of see how much it is above the layer of the ground layer, right? Like, it's just such a mess. So I got to come through and I got to put some soil kind of all around it and kind of spread it down. And then obviously I'm going to amend this with some compost, and then put some good mulch on after that. But I wanted to get this whole area cleaned up so I could actually start planting my trees here. My plan is to plant a whole bunch of really tall trees to block out the neighbor's house. But we really couldn't do anything until this whole area got cleaned up. So not too much to look at right now, but truthfully, this was a huge project in the last month. And Milo and Isaac did such a fabulous job. And I really, really appreciate that they're here helping me, because this property's kind of a beast. I knew it was going to be a beast, but it is kind of definitely a beast. Okay, then let me show you this raised bed. First of all, look at my lavender. Oh my goodness. I'm going to come out and I think I'm going to harvest a whole bunch of this and dry it, because it's just so beautiful. So this raised bed is coming out, but I need to transplant all the bearded iris that I planted in here. I need to put it somewhere else in the garden because I don't want to lose that bearded iris. And then I will have Milo and Isaac take this whole bed out. So this, I have kind of put this off until I could actually get out here and transplant all these beautiful bearded iris. I got these from Pamela, and then Margie sent me some. These are Margie's that are looking really, really good. So I just need to get out here and I just need to do it. This is on my to-do list. I'll probably do it when I plant a lot of my daffodil bulbs out here and tulip bulbs out here. Actually, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of putting tulip bulbs in pots, having all the tulips in pots and then having all the daffodils out here, because the daffodils will naturalize, the tulips won't. And I think I'll get more of a bang for my buck if I put all my tulips in a pot. That's just my thought right now. So we'll see if I stick to that. I don't know. So this needs to come out eventually. You can see Robbie the Willow over there. I need to get out here and I need to fix it because it is so leaned over. We're like overcorrecting it right now, but I got to get these over this way so it stays that way, like that. I don't know. I just see. So I got to play with it a little bit. Again, another thing I got to come out here for. So we have flagged out the pathway over here. That's my January project, is to try and get some of these pathways in. I'm going to do decomposed granite lined with metal. I do need to kind of move some of the flags around just a little bit, just kind of adjust them. Now that we've got them all laid out, I can kind of see areas that I want to change just a little bit. Like this, I want it to be more of a curve, like a gentler curve right there. Let me bring you guys along here. Oh, it feels so good to be walking out in my garden. So my fig tree is losing its leaves. It's quite the mess. Let me zoom in. Isn't that awesome? I just love this fig tree so much. So it's happy. This is normal. It's deciduous. It's what it has to do. And then coming over here, you can see this is an area that I've totally planted up. Everything's kind of going to sleep right now, which is to be expected. The one area that I do want to fix for my pathway, I want it to go out like that and then around, and then see how it kind of jogs back in again. I want to take that jog out. I want it to be more of a gentle, kind of like that. So again, it's really good to kind of lay things out like this. Sometimes you can just kind of spray it, right? But because this is just compost that it's on, I felt like the spray, paint spray wouldn't stay. So I thought the flags would be a lot better. And I do because there are areas that my dad sprayed and they're already gone. So having the flags up, I think, is really, really important. So yeah, so I just need to fix some of that a little bit. And then we can start digging this out. There's just a little bit of compost over it. We just kind of have to throw it over side to side and then put some landscape fabric down and then put a base layer down. And then we'll put the decomposed granite on top. I do have to make a trip to the landscape supply stuff to pick out my decomposed granite. Here's my orange tree, actually one of 2 orange trees. They are so close to ready. I'm so excited about them. I think other years are going to be a little bit better than this year because these were without water for a very long time. Look at how many oranges there are though. I mean, this is pretty good. These were without water for quite a number of months this season. So I have a feeling next year is going to be a lot better. So something that I need to learn. I don't know much about citrus at all, but it's kind of a fun thing to learn and see how to do. So here in Northern California, yes, we did have a frost this morning. If we have big trees like this, they can handle the frost. If you have small trees or citrus in pots and we have a really cold night, you kind of want to cover it up just to kind of protect them. I have 2 lemon pots in the backyard and I completely forgot to cover them for our frost last night. So I have to go check on them and see how they're doing. But the trees that are this big are going to be totally fine with our temperature. Obviously, they're going to be fine. These trees have been here for years and years and years. Okay, so coming this way, I've got a little planting right here. I've got some really pretty dianthus that is giving me just a little bit of color right now. These are Paint the Town Fuchsia. And then Banana Cream 2 Shasta Daisies that have rooted in. They look really happy. They look really good. And I think once they start blooming next season, it's going to be gorgeous right there. And then coming over here, I have some of my camellias. This is my Showa no Sakai. Beautiful. It is a Sasanqua, Camellia Sasanqua. And again, just as a reminder, Sasanquas bloom before Christmas, Japonicas bloom after Christmas. So this one is Elegans Champagne. These are all Nuccio camellias that I got at Van Winden's, and I'm so excited about it. What is this? Are these my alliums? Robbie, look! They're growing already. Oh, that's exciting. Oh, they're doing really good. So Robbie and Pamela came and planted some alliums in this area. Ow. Whew. They're doing so good. Oh, that's so exciting to see. Oh, that just made my day. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, look at, they're all around here. It's so nice to be out here in the garden again. Okay, anyway, so let me take you this way. On this north side of my house, this area is going to be my secret shade garden. I'm very, very excited about it. I was planning to get it done almost first thing, but of course you can see it's not done first thing. And again, that is because of unexpected issues, basically. So you can see my lion fountain that Robbie picked up for me, still sitting here. It's still not hooked up. I have all of these beautiful shade plants right here that are pretty much done for the season. I'm going to have to come back and cut all the hostas back and the brunnera back. I have a couple hydrangeas in pots that I'm going to be planting in this area. But the big thing is, we had to do the same thing over here as we had to do in the north border. There was layer upon layer upon layer of junk, absolute junk in here. And it's so frustrating. So there was pieces of concrete in here. There was like big plastic sheets that were that are not meant for the garden, and they just kind of laid them down here. It was such a mess. So I had to have the boys come and dig out this whole area, and then they came through and they put in some compost on either side so that I can start planting. But again, like this, it was just completely unexpected. I did not think there would be all that junk. And so I don't want to blame anybody that lived here before, because obviously they were not gardeners, but they would basically put junk out and then they would put mulch over the junk, and that would cover the junk. And it's just like a new surprise every time I rake back the mulch. So kind of frustrating, but again, I knew that there was going to be issues. So I'm trying not to get too upset about it. But that is also why everything is taking so much longer, and I'm having to pay for labor to kind of clean these areas up where I did not think I was going to have to do that. So yeah. So anyway, that's kind of been the theme lately. So this area is pretty ready. I'm going to have a pathway in the middle, which is why there's no compost in the middle. And then the fountain is going to go kind of about right here in the middle. And then we're going to have kind of like a seating area. And then as a reminder, I'm putting 2 walls, one wall here with an arch and one wall here with an arch. And when I say wall, it's a living wall. So I'm really just putting up some like lattice fence so that honeysuckle can grow on it. And I think it's going to be beautiful. I am going to prune back these trees. I have to talk to my neighbors and see if these are my trees or if they are their trees, because we have this fence here and then there's another fence over on the other side of the trees. So I just have to see whose trees these actually are. But obviously I can still prune them back if they're hanging over my side. So I will be pruning these back. Okay, now I am in the backyard. I came from over there on the north side of the house. Yes, I went quickly past back over there on the other side of my office. You will all find out why later. I did want to show you all this cherry drop Coleus. This is a new Coleus for proven winners for next year, 2024. And at first, I wasn't a huge fan of it. It just didn't perform really well, I guess. And I just didn't really like it. But now, as it's gotten cooler, it's beautiful. It is so very pretty. It's like it almost liked the cooler weather a little bit more. Or maybe I had it in a lot more sun when I was in my old property and then I came and brought it here. It's under the carport right here. And so even through the frost, obviously it was protected by the carport, it's done beautifully, so beautifully. So that is actually better performing than I thought it would be. I was all ready to tell you all, that I wasn't really a fan of it, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad of a Coleus. Okay, then over here I have my Vego garden beds that I love so much. And here's my Chinese pistache. It has almost lost all its leaves, and it's a complete mess back here with all the leaves. That's one of the, I guess you would say a con. I had somebody ask me, they said they were thinking about planting a Chinese pistache in their yard, and they wanted to know the pros and cons. And so I would say, obviously, a con is it's a mess. It's totally a mess this time of year as it loses all its leaves. But it loses all its leaves pretty much at one time, right? Mine just started losing its leaves maybe a couple days ago, and it's almost dropped everything. This is one of the best shade trees that you could possibly have because it's lush and full and green all summer long when you need the shade, and then it loses all its leaves in the winter. And then of course the beautiful fall color. I'm just obsessed with this tree. You all know I've talked about this tree a million times. So yeah, so those mostly pros for this tree. The con is it's messy, but pretty much any deciduous tree is going to be pretty messy. So there's that. For the Vego beds, let me just show you what I have growing. First of all, I have ranunculus that I planted in these trays just to try out. They're looking beautiful. They need to get planted out so fast. I have some sweet peas, and I'm going to direct sow some sweet peas as well in the next week or so. I have my brassicas in this one. So in the front, I have some cabbage. In the middle, I have some broccoli, and you can see I kind of have a floret right there. Isn't that the cutest thing? And then I do have some Brussels sprouts back here, and I don't like Brussels sprouts. So I'm just growing this for fun, and maybe I'll give some to my mom after if they grow well and after they grow. But I am not a fan of Brussels sprouts. Then over here, I have my carrot seedlings that are looking really, really beautiful. I do have to come in here and thin them in just a little bit. But they're looking great. And then over here on this side is where I planted my garlic. And that's doing well. Look at that. So exciting. So this is just bird netting that I had on here. There's literally no point to have this here. Really, I should take it off. It looks like it's smashing the garlic already. There's just all these like little jobs that I have to get out here and do. And I just haven't had time, because it's basically, I just started walking and I'm just trying to get everything done without overdoing it. So I'm trying to be good. And then over here, I have my onions that Robbie planted for me. Hopefully you all can even see them. They're doing well. And then this last bed right here, I have lettuce that I have. It's growing beautifully. It's gorgeous, but I haven't done anything with it. So I think I'm going to harvest a lot of it, give it to the bunnies, and then get some for myself for salads, and then kind of do a second planting. Here where I live in zone 9B, I can plant greens like this pretty much year round. I mean, not year round, all winter long. So I can plant another round and it won't be a problem. Look who's up. Hi, sweet boy. You only napped for an hour. And you're supposed to nap for 2 hours. Silly boy. So I had a lot of people ask me when I showed Monty last time to be careful and ask if we have a gate, and we do have a gate. So to let people come drive in and out, we leave it open. But then when Monty's going to be out here, like running around kind of by himself, we close the gate. So because he's up, I'm walking over to close the front gate right now. This, unfortunately, we do not have like an automatic gate. So that's actually something that I'm going to do today. I'm going to call somebody and get a price on like temporary, how much it would be to make this gate automatic so that it would, we can push a button and it'll open and close, because it's kind of a pain in the butt. Yes, don't come out here. Don't come out here. It's kind of a pain in the butt to do this multiple times a day, but that's okay. All right. What you doing? What you doing? Now that I'm out here, I realize I completely forgot to talk about the center island. So I had Milo and Isaac come out here, and following Michael Glassman's plans, put the flags as to where the dry creek bed is going to be. So the dry creek bed, in case you all aren't familiar with that, basically what it is it is kind of an area that looks like there would be kind of a creek or a river going through it, but it's only rocks. And so it just gives the illusion that there's water there. But there's not, there's no water. And then when you put the rocks there, that gives it a really good spot for rain to kind of soak down into the ground. So it's actually really good to have dry creek beds in arid climates, dry climates like I live, because it gives the water a chance to soak down into the ground and get into our water table again, as opposed to kind of just running off and going into storm drains and being taken out who knows where. So dry creek beds are a really good thing, and I'm excited to have it, and I think that this is the perfect place for it. And then that big mound of dirt over there, that is where the gazebo is going to go. I haven't bought the gazebo yet. I'm still deciding on the exact one I want. I'm kind of waffling between the white gazebo, and then I saw this, let me show you this picture that I found on Pinterest that was just, I just think it is so beautiful. It's just like this living gazebo. So I'm tempted, but then I would have to wait a couple years for all the whatever vines I choose to grow on it to grow over it. So I'm just kind of trying to decide. We're not there yet, but I did want to show you this. And that's pretty much the extent of what we've done in the center island. I do have some Indian hawthorns here. These are Levita moss. From Proven Winners, and so far I'm really, really liking them. And then, I wanted to show you my heliotrope. My sad heliotrope over here. So you can see they were hit pretty bad with frost, but I do still have some life down there. Okay, thank you. Thank you. But if you look deep down there, you can still see some life down there. Don't ignore the weeds, but there is still some life on the heliotrope. And if I scrape it, it's still green. I'm not showing this very well. You guys see that? There we go. It's hard with a puppy. Oh my goodness. So I actually am not going to cut back those heliotropes that have been frostbitten. That's actually something that's really important just to note, just so you all know, is that when you have a plant like that that gets frostbit, the worst thing you can do is cut it back and take off all those dead leaves, because all of those dead leaves are actually protecting the stuff that's alive down below. So if I cut those back, all that stuff that's alive is all of a sudden going to be exposed to the cold, and then that has a good chance of getting frostbitten as well and killed off as well. So I am just going to leave it there like that until we start to warm up in February, and then I will cut back after there's not really any more risk of frost. So yeah, so that's that. That's pretty much what's going on. It's not the most beautiful thing, but the main thing is that I'm so happy to be able to be out here and to be able to be walking. Like when I was zooming around on my scooter, it was the most tiring thing that you can imagine, because it just took all of my energy just to get me from one place to another. So I was just having such a hard time getting anything done because I was just so tired all the time. So I am noticing now that I am like really deconditioned because I haven't moved around a lot. But I'm just gonna slowly build myself back into it. And I do have this guy, which has taken up quite a lot of my time as well. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed my December garden tour. I can't even tell you all. I'm just so happy to be out here. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.